In this episode, I'm joined by Chance Brown, broker owner of CB&A Realtors in Houston, Texas. We're diving into how top-performing agents are treating AI as more than just a tool, it's a strategic business partner. From workflow automation to sharpening client communications, discover how aligning with AI reshapes your real estate operations and unlocks a better balance. Let's get to it. Are you a real estate agent eager to unlock the power of AI to boost your productivity and scale your business? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the weekly podcast that takes AI from a buzzword to a business tool, making it approachable and actionable for agents like you. I'm your host, Rajiv Sajja, and each week I interview agents from across the country who are using AI to transform their careers. Join us on this journey to become an AI-skilled agent and take your real estate career to the next level. Now let's get to this episode. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash. Wow, I can't believe it's already August, and we release this episode, we're recording in July. And I have today, usually I have agents on the podcast. Today I have, I believe, an industry thought leader in Chance Brown. He's the broker owner of CB&A Realtors in the greater Houston area. So Chance and I connected at the recent 1,000-watt brand and marketing summit in Dallas, and I felt like he has a great perspective on AI, not just from an agent's perspective, because he's also, Chance, I read this about you, 2017 HAR Realtor of the Year. So you've sort of practiced, and now you obviously run a very successful brokerage, over 600 agents and 6+ offices, I believe. Mm-hmm. So welcome to the pod, Chance.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, no, it was funny when you and I got hooked up to speak at the 1,000-watt conference. I was almost like, did y'all pick the wrong guy for an AI discussion? Because I was just really starting to discover at the time the power of AI.
Yeah.
And now it's, beginning to play more and more a role in what we're doing and everything. But at the time I was like, I think you chose the wrong person. But I mean, credit to you also in making it as accessible as you can make it for a lot of people who I think have a internal, like for me, it's an internal conflict.
Yeah.
Right. I started in the industry. It's been a little over 20 years ago when we weren't even really using the internet for everyday use. We were still writing stuff down on note cards and
MLS books
like that. Yeah. MLS books. And, you're getting to a point where, the computers are just doing things for you as we speak.
Yeah.
And so for me personally, I have something of an internal conflict in that I don't want to lose authenticity. I don't want to lose originality. But I also crave the efficiency.
Yeah.
And so it's a weird place to be right now.
Weird place, and it's a fine balance. I think you need to know when to use it, when not to use it, and more importantly, how to use it. So to retain the authenticity, your voice, and all of that fun stuff. So, but before we dive into all things AI that you're involved in at your company and your brokerage as well with agents, I'd love for the listening audience. I gave you like a elevator pitch intro, but you've been doing a lot of work, yeoman's work in the industry. I'd love for the audience to know how you got into real estate and bring us to today.
Okay. I started out on the builder side, actually. I was a salesperson and then a sales trainer, and then ran the custom home division for one of the largest privately held home builders in the United States. And then one day decided I got onto that side because at some point I was going to get my real estate license. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to go get my real estate license. And that was in May. A few months later here in Houston, we had a hurricane hit on a Friday. And on Monday, Wall Street fell, and we went into the worst housing recession since the Great Depression. So my entrepreneurial journey did not start out as I planned. And we struggled like a lot of people do when they first get into real estate, built the business, and eventually things changed completely to the other side. And I never really had this idea of I wanted to own a brokerage. I wanted to sponsor on board, we're almost to 700 agents now. That was never part of the plan. The plan was I wanted to start my own brokerage because I didn't feel like I was really getting the value for the dollar from my previous broker. And that's nothing against him in any way, shape, or form. He's an awesome human being. But the value for the dollar wasn't there. And as we started to build things out, people started to see it and they were like, hey, that's pretty cool. And it kind of just started to snowball. And what we bring to the table, I think that's different than a lot of places is full service brokerage experience, all the tools, tech you're going to get at any big named brokerage. But we do it at a transaction fee level. Mm-hmm. And we do it in a way that we think allows our agents to come in and run their business the way they want to run. And so that's where we are now. We're 5 offices here in Houston, 1 office in Austin, and growing. So
yeah, I have a fun story about Houston too. I have cousins in Houston, and one of my cousins also is in Austin. So, and I was there pre-COVID for a marketing conference at one of I think it was like a more historic hotel, and that's the same weekend the Prime Minister of India was coming, and this was Trump's first term. And they had a major flood. They shut down Houston, the main airport. And I took an Uber with one of my colleagues because the only way to get out of Houston was to fly out of Dallas.
Right.
It was my longest Uber ride. And, at the time, at least, I don't know if they notify Uber riders now, but when we ordered the Uber, it just tells the Uber riders, because they don't want people to pick and choose which rides they accept. Right. It just says long ride. And it was a 4-hour ride. The look on the guy's face when I boarded the car at 5 a.m., knowing that he was going to Dallas from Houston, was priceless. But
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a drive.
A heck of a drive, but I gave him a healthy tip. Hopefully he made his way back home fine.
No good.
So that's awesome. I feel like obviously AI has changed quite a bit. Every week there seems to be, the pace of innovation is breathtaking.
So I kind of made a joke this weekend, actually. I am known for posting late night rants in our Facebook group. And I was talking with our agents this weekend. And I'm like, can we just get one AI? Can there be like a cage match of all the different AIs?
Yeah.
And whoever wins just gets to absorb everybody else.
That's, yeah. I hope we get there. But, they're all working towards winning the race, right? They're all sort of, and the large language models, but I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. But what was your first light bulb moment with AI, Chance, for you?
I think that I probably started my, for lack of a better term, AI journey, like a lot of other people, and kind of treating it like a super Google.
Yeah.
Right? Like just trying to get it to do stuff. And then where I think I really had my first breakthrough, and we can talk a little bit about where, from my standpoint, where I look at what I'm trying to achieve with AI. I think the first instance was probably so boring that everybody's going to fall asleep as I tell the story. We wanted to revise our policy and procedures manual.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, there's nothing fun about a policy and procedures manual. And coming in and revising it, we get a guidance from our state associations. We have a copy of their sort of, model version. But I also wanted to make it a document in our brokerage that was not limiting, but in fact empowering. And so we wanted to include some best practice stuff in each section, that kind of thing. And really, we went into ChatGPT and we uploaded the model. We uploaded what we wanted from best practices. And we kind of just said, hey, build us something that's a user-friendly, empowering document. And it did it. And what would have probably taken us, realistically, and I do want to be as realistic as I possibly can, what would have probably taken us months, because we just would work on it in 30-minute bits because it was so horrifyingly boring, we were able to put out a finished product in under 5 days. And that the majority of that time was everybody reading it and making sure we had covered everything.
Yeah. It's amazing. I think the biggest benefit of AI I've found with all the guests that I talk to and people I interact with at events and stuff is it helps you collapse time, literally. Shrinks time so you automate the mundane. Policy procedures cannot be more mundane than anything else. So you can do more of the meaningful. Save time so you can do more client stuff that is, experiences, et cetera. It's a good analogy.
If we go back when we were setting up the brokerage, and we're building out a tech stack.
Yeah.
I thought that we had built out a pretty solid tech stack that would be competitive. People would come work here, whatever. And I got this listing, and this was a nightmare of a listing. But at the same time that my client was selling this house, he was selling another piece of property, and the agent kept sending him these reports with all these really cool analytics. I couldn't figure out what it was. So I called the agent, I'm talking to them, and they're telling me all about it. And it's, at the time, what was relatively novel technology 10 years ago, which was marketing automation.
Yeah.
Today, we're pushing out marketing automation like we're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, it was new. And we literally tore down the tech stack that we had built with an eye towards automation and rebuilt it with that. And not necessarily can we just replace the task, but if we can't replace the task, can we save time?
Yeah.
Can we take the stuff that agents hate doing and usually aren't very good at anyway?
Yeah.
And take it off their plate completely, or at least eliminate the pain point of, I have this friction and I don't want to do it, but I can make it easy. And so from a broker standpoint, that's the direction we're headed with AI is, how much time can I give an agent back? If they do a rudimentary task that takes them 30 minutes a week, and I can have a GPT set up for them that takes 30 seconds a week, okay, well, now I've given them 2 hours back a month. That's 24 hours in a year. That's 3 full work days every year that I've handed back to somebody with something that's relatively simple to do. And so how many times can we replicate that?
Yeah. Some of the most compelling use cases for AI are not sexy.
No.
They are tried and true, save time. Like even when I'm for the podcast, Chance, I don't know if I shared this with you. Since I interview guests every week, I built a podcast prep GPT that is tailored for researching the guest, giving me a little bio, and then your social handles, interview questions potentially that, at the corner of my podcast mission and your background. That used to take me 25, 30 minutes. Now it's like 5.
Right.
So look for those use cases that are repetitive. You do it all the time, and you would want to do it at a high level.
So I put out a lot of content, video content.
Yes, you do.
That is designed specifically for agents. It's not, a lot of agents talk to clients. A lot of agents talk to the general public. My content is directed towards agents. And what I've started doing now is I feed my YouTube feed into ChatGPT so it can see what we're doing and what we're trying to do. We tell ChatGPT how we want it to act. And it feeds me my next set of video content. But like I said earlier, it doesn't just script it out for me. It just gives me the things that are going to make sense for me to do next and some talking points.
Yeah.
But I then get to inject my flavor.
100%.
And that efficiency, as opposed to sitting around with a videographer, with this, with that, it's just, it takes so much time and effort off the plate that it's never something I have to be concerned about.
Yeah, no, I did something the other day. I mean, I knew this was possible, but I just, with the new, with ChatGPT Pro, which is the $200 one, you can connect your sources to it for deep research. So as an example, like you can connect your Google Drive, like we're a Google company where I work. So I connected the folder of all the podcast episodes, 80 odd, show details. And I had it run a deep research project saying, look at the episodes I've done. After 80, it's kind of feel lost in what topics you have covered, not covered as the number goes higher. I said, go through that and then give me a deep research output of topics I've not touched on that are valuable to real estate agents to leverage AI. Walked away, got a cup of coffee, and it gave me 10 things. No, and then to your point, I humanize it. I go through it. Does it make sense? Make sense. So I think collapsing time is a great takeaway. I mean, for your brokerage stuff too, I don't know if you've looked into ChatGPT projects, Chance.
I have not.
So projects it's not a custom GPT is for repetitive tasks, right? and you can share custom GPTs with people. ChatGPT projects, think of it as a folder for ongoing things. So I can see policies and procedures could be a project that's one person manages. Like, so I'm building a real estate AI academy, online certification thing. It's an evolving thing. So I have a whole project for all of the coursework for the academy. It's a complex task. If you want to build email campaigns that are over time, you can drag chats into it. You can do deep research. So ChatGPT projects is actually an underutilized function. So if you have ongoing corporate initiatives, we're all in there. So it learns all that. And then if you ask it for the next one, like this morning, I went in there and said, okay, I've done 2 courses already for the academy. I want to kind of get to 8 to 10 before I release it. I said, what is a good topic for course 3 based on, I gave it all the deep research stuff, and it popped out something that I tweaked, and I'm ready for recording course 3.
Very cool.
So it's like an ongoing chat with topics that are not like, not for listing descriptions, you won't do it because that's a repetitive thing, that custom GPT. So it's a great place to kind of move your policies and procedures, put all your chats.
Well, especially considering, policy procedures is an ever-evolving document.
Anything that's evolving, projects is awesome for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So cool. So in your role as a broker owner, obviously you're looking to build company efficiencies so you can do more for your agents.
Yes.
Like the policy procedure is a good one, and kind of humanizing things content-wise. Talk to me about how your agents at CBNA are using AI beyond the obvious ones, or even if it's obvious, it's saving time.
Yeah, so I think you have things like obvious, like we have created GPTs for open house prep, for marketing your listings, for putting together a detailed marketing plan based on property. And so we're continuously adding to this library so that our agents have something that they can go to. One of the things I think might be a little overlooked, but is certainly very applicable here in the Houston area, because most people think Houston and they think Cowboys and, whatever. But the Houston marketplace is actually the most diverse city in the United States.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Fort Bend County, which is just to the southwest of the city of Houston, is the most diverse county in the United States. And we have a lot of agents where English is not their first language.
Yeah.
And what chat has allowed us to do with our agents who maybe don't speak and certainly don't write English really, really well is level the playing field from a marketing standpoint in a way that I don't know there's another tool that can do that.
Right about that, for sure.
Yeah. And so I think that is a very powerful thing that is getting potentially overlooked here. Is it's allowing the dissolution of communication barriers that have existed in our industry for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, I think I'll share this video with you on Instagram from a TED Talk a year ago, where you literally put a earpiece and you're understanding somebody in a different language and it's translating it for you live. And it's literally real time.
Incredible.
To your point, and that was a year ago.
It's like souped up Google Translate, but on
Google Translate. But imagine if you could communicate with people that you never were able to communicate with, not just in email and social, that kind of stuff, but also voice communication. It's awesome.
Incredible. Yeah. So, for us, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
For us, I think that, the more that we can leverage that with our Nigerian and Kenyan agents, with our Indian agents, with our Hispanic agents that don't feel good about themselves when they go to write a listing description.
Oh, yeah.
If I can provide a tool that allows them to feel proud about the work that they're putting out, I think that's a difference maker in their business.
100%. Yeah. And so what are some other areas you guys are looking into to use AI for automation? You mentioned a little bit about automation. Can you dig into some of the other areas that you guys are thinking about?
Yep. So again, going back to really doing a time audit with some of our agents.
Yeah.
And what are the tasks that you do? So for example, we preach the ninja selling philosophy in our brokerage. And one of the things that we want our agents to do 2 of a week is a real estate review. Well, ChatGPT can make that process so simple.
Yeah.
You know, it's not particularly difficult, but it's 10 to 15 minutes of prep using traditional systems. We've created a GPT now where they can knock that out minus the graphic piece in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It gives them talking points to talk about during the meeting. It gives them a script for the call to set up the meeting that follows the ninja selling guidelines. And it gives them the data. They can then produce a quick Canva graphic about it.
Yeah.
And poof, they're out the door. And what, again, you know, going back to that, if they're spending 30, 45 minutes a week putting these things together, how much time are we saving them?
Yeah.
And so we look at those, like you said, not sexy things. Yeah, my homage to Justin Timberlake, it's bringing not very sexy back.
Yeah.
But we know that the boring things are where agents make money.
Yeah.
Right.
Automating the mundane for sure.
It's kind of hilarious when you talk about the shiny new penny that is AI for a lot of people, and everybody wants to do AI this, AI that. But are you taking AI to apply to the stuff that actually moves the needle in your business?
Yeah.
That's the key.
100%. 100%. You know, we talk about, you know, there are really 4 areas you should look at when you do a time audit, to your point. One is repetitive tasks.
Yes.
And even if it's a task is like, if it's repetitive, but it's not time intensive, it's not worth automating. Like if it's something 5 minutes every week, not worth it. Maybe you save a few minutes. But if you're going to do 30, 45 minutes, to your point, repetitive, and you recommend through Ninja Selling, you should probably think about building a Ninja GPT, Chance.
We are. We actually are.
Perfect. I figured you were, since you're going on the GPT trail.
Yeah.
And the next one is data heavy. AI does a lot, really good with data, right? So if market stats, agents do market stats every month. If they want to put something out, download it from HAR.
Yep.
Format is set all the time. Expected stuff. Custom GPTs excels with that, right?
Right.
And you know, and then energy draining. Some tasks as a real estate agent, you know you need to do, but you don't enjoy doing it.
Like writing a policy and procedures manual.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, saving time. I mean, I did a time audit not too long ago, like early Q1, pre-AI time, post-AI, and I was at a 35%. I think I'm like edging more towards north of 40% now of time productivity enhancement. That's if we can give our agents back that time.
Right.
That's the goal, right?
And I, you know, it's the time, but for me, you know, I told you kind of how we started the brokerage and why we started the brokerage was this idea of freedom.
Yeah.
Because when you have that time, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to invest that back in your business? Or do you want to go take a nap?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go on vacation or whatever that looks like? It gives you options.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hear the stories of agents who are they're overworked, they're stressed out, they're filled with anxiety. How much of that can we reduce by just
100%. Better work-life balance, do more with your clients in meetings. Yeah, 100%. I think that's the true value of AI is to give you back your time.
Right.
So
I'm testing out a technology. I literally started yesterday called Fixer. Have you seen Fixer?
Oh yeah, for email.
Yeah, for email.
Yeah. So there's 2 or 3 really good ones for email. I've tested it. I've not really dug deep into it, but I'd love for you to give me your review once you use it. Superhuman is another one on the same lines.
Superhuman does not play well with Outlook.
Okay, Outlook. So I'm a Gmail guy. So and then the other one I heard from an agent in our network was Jace, Jace, I believe. We'll put a link in the show notes for those of you that want to dig into it. But I think Fixer is a really good one.
I heard Glenn Sanford talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I've seen it in my Instagram feed, right? Ads for it, whatever. But I'm playing with it. I'm 24 hours in, and I can see the good. It needs some training and things like that, but I can see the good in it.
Good. I'd love to hear. Maybe in a couple of months, let me know how it works out.
Yeah,
I'd love to try it. I just haven't had the bandwidth to do it yet.
For sure.
Yeah. So anything else on AI before I get to my final 2 questions, Chance? Anything else?
I think if you're an agent who's listening to this and you haven't started playing with AI, just look at something that you do on a weekly basis and try it. The worst thing that can happen is you don't use it.
Yeah.
You're already not using it. So just don't be afraid and don't let it overwhelm you. I think a lot of times there's an overwhelm based off of the unknown. Just get in and do something really simple. Like tell it to write a listing description for a listing.
Yeah.
Or for your own personal home.
Yeah.
But just try it and see how it works for you.
Yeah. 100%.
And understand also, we talk about this all the time, garbage in, garbage out. So really be very specific with your prompting.
100%. Yeah, definitely. And to your point, though, I mean, we've all been at AI mediocrity when we started using it. We're all on our own journeys. So as you're listening to this, if you've just started, don't worry about where other people are. You just be in a better place a year from now with AI than you are today, right?
That's it.
That's our journeys, yeah. So you've been in the industry for 20 plus years, agent role, agent hat, now you're a broker owner. What is the one piece of advice you'd give if your younger self or an agent listening to this? And it could be any piece of advice related to the industry.
So I think I already kind of touched on it is be the very best at the boring.
Boring, yeah, I love that.
This thing makes phone calls. It's not just for checking Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook. It makes phone calls. Talk to people.
Yeah.
The boring stuff is what pays the bills at the end of the day. You can go play with all the other new, shiny, fun stuff once you've got that. So dial in your CRM, dial in your systems and processes, make your phone calls every day, do the boring stuff really well, and you'll be here a long time from now. Yeah.
What is that statement I heard? Dialing for dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So great advice. Time tested for sure.
No doubt.
What was, I don't know if you're a book or a podcast person, Chance?
I'm a book person.
Book person. Perfect.
Which is hilarious considering that I host a podcast and appear on podcasts. I very rarely listen to podcasts.
All good. We all consume information differently. So I'd love you probably have a book that has made a bigger impact on you than other books. So is there one that you would recommend for the listening audience?
So I have if you go to my website, I've got a book list. It's chancebrown.com. And I have sort of my holy trinity of real estate books. One of which is not really a real estate book, which is The Greatest Salesman in the World.
Oh, yeah. Og Mandino. Wow. I love that book.
Yeah. 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Maher, and Ninja Selling by Larry Kendall. But appropriate to this conversation, I have recently just finished The AI-Driven Leader.
Oh, Jeff Wood.
And the funny thing is, I didn't know who Jeff Wood was as related to the real estate industry. I had no idea when I bought the book. I'd had it recommended to me by 3 or 4 people. And I was on my way to a conference in Washington, D.C., and I read half the book on the plane and finished it up on the way back. It's great. If for nothing else, setting the mindset of how you want to use
100%
AI.
Yeah.
And so I think it really, not to cost Jeff Woods any money by spoiling anything, but you look at it as AI is your partner, not as the one taking over the world, but it's your thought partner. And I think when I started to shift my mindset in that direction, I found that not only my utilization, but the proper utilization of AI went way up.
Oh, 100%. And a great takeaway. That book was one of my first books I read in AI like a year ago. I think I heard Jeff on a podcast, Chance. And then, obviously they talked about the book and I said, I should get that book. And I listened to it on Audible. And that was the first time, to your point, it triggered the thought of moving from an AI as an assistant to a thought partner. And the quality of my conversations, to your point, changed astronomically because I had developed that mindset. Great takeaway. We'll put a link to the book in the show notes. And hopefully we'll have Jeff at some point on the podcast too. He's great great author for sure. So Chance, this has been fun. Houston is one of my son travels to Houston quite often. He says it's the best food I've had in anywhere in the country. The variety of food, I love
There's a reason we are consistently the fattest city in America.
There you go. Probably a good reason why there's a connection there. But well, I appreciate your time, Chance, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Rajiv, thank you not only for having me here, but thank you for the guidance that you've given us, me and my wife, as we've started building this stuff. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, anytime, bud.
You're an icon in the industry for sure.
Thank you so much. Take care. You made it to the end. Nice. My goal with this podcast is to elevate your AI skills every week. If you found value in the show, your goal is to follow, share with a fellow agent, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave us a review as it helps us reach more agents like you.